I'm not sure I like this being in DMZ, but while it's there, you might as well use it because it makes missions so much easier and it gives you the potential to fight against entire squads of enemy players single-handedly and come out on top. Of course, I'm talking about the broadside, the fire shotgun, the doof. This thing is an absolute beast. In this video, I've got some gameplay for you just showing off how incredible this is. And then at the end of the video, I'll show you what build I'm using, what loadout I'm using, and why I'm using each piece on it. But wow, this thing is insane. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Stay with me.
Are we not going back upstairs? Oh, what, jumping down? Yeah. It does work quite well. People just like, people's reaction time, it takes a long while. Like, they don't expect you to drop down. So you've got like a second or so where it's going to take them. Excuse me, Homelander. Oh my god, he's just killed 2 people. What the hell? Ah, it's a Homelander. In the stairs. They're downstairs in the stairwell.
Yeah.
Okay. I jumped down and downed one.
Hold up.
Where'd he go? Doesn't have anything.
Fine.
He's dead. This is my build for it. I called it a doof, and you can see it's in all my insured slots at the moment, just because this is the one gun I always want to take in with me. Pretty much regardless of the map I'm going in. Obviously, it's much better in things like Building 21 and Koshai Complex, where you're very likely to be fighting close quarters. But it's so good against bots, I pretty much like having it all of the time. But if I just quickly look at the gunsmith, I'll show you the attachments and talk about why we've got each one on here. So, first of all, the main one is the 12 gauge Dragon's Breath. That's the thing you really want, that's the most important one. It not only adds a little bit of damage over time, so there's always that chance after you stop firing that you might down someone just with the tick of damage. That does happen sometimes. But also, as soon as you start firing, it fills the room with smoke and fire, which makes you incredibly hard to see. So if you're using a shotgun and they're using something like an SMG where they've got to do a bit more aiming, you've got a decent chance of just obscuring yourself enough that if you're moving, they're not going to be able to keep up with you. Also, the 25 shell drum I think is super important. In DMZ, you never know how many enemies you're going to be up against, like it could be 6. but then you've got bots and things like that. You want as many rounds as possible. And this, to me at least, is the biggest advantage it has over the Guardian. That 25 shell drum is absolutely amazing. And yes, it takes longer to reload, but that's not really a problem because generally by the time you've got to the end of those 25 shells, everyone is dead. So the other things that I think are really helpful, but obviously you could swap these around. I like the Gunner D20 barrel. This adds a little bit of range, which is super useful in DMZ. Basically so you can use it while people are running away. Maybe use it while you're fighting bots, even if they're not right up close to you. It does strangely also, as well as increasing the damage range, increase the hip fire accuracy. So this means you can get some surprisingly long distance hits from the hip using this gun, which I think is super useful. Then I've put it on VLK stockless. That gives you a little bit extra movement speed, which is super useful because the longer barrel actually reduces some of your movement speed. So it's nice to get a little bit of that back by using the stockless stock, I guess, or the lack of stock. And it also increases your sprint to fire speed and, again, your hip recoil control. You don't really actually need to worry about recoil control at all because you're not going to be aiming with this thing. You're just going to be firing. And then finally, I put on the Dash Bolt 60. That increases the fire rate. Again, you lose some recoil control, but I really don't think that matters with this. I've never noticed the recoil ever being a problem. But increasing your fire rate is a massive advantage. So that's the gun. Like, this thing is an absolute beast. It's so powerful. I've got this fancy blueprint on it where, you know, it is on fire. You don't need that, but I feel like it adds to the effect a little bit. If they're on fire, you're on fire, everybody's on fire. If you enjoy this, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've got any suggestions on how I could improve this build, maybe a different barrel I think would probably be the main thing I'd change, let me know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.